not American enough to be fully accepted, not African enough to be authentic. If you really study majority of the people who do not fully accept you for whatever reasons is because they don't truly fully accept themselves either. It's like living in a cultural limbo, and you start to wonder, who am I really doing all this for? This episode is for everybody who's ever felt stuck between cultures. Too African for your American friends, too American for your African family. If your identity ever felt like a tug-of-war match, you're not alone. Let's talk about it.
If I want it, then I go get it. Yeah, no limit. If I want it, then I go get it. Yeah, go get it. If I want it, then I go get it. Look, no limit. If I want it, then I go get it. Make it rain, get a pint.
Share with your cousins on both sides, and don't forget to subscribe. Not African enough, not American enough, too African for the cookout, too American for the ancestors. What's up, fam? Welcome back to Supah Citizen, the realest corner of the internet where immigrant stories meet Black identity with no filter. I'm your host, POM-J, and this is episode 4. Not African enough, not American enough. Yes, that's right, we are back in the gym location again. But this time around, we are working our chest muscles. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, share, and don't forget to leave a comment and chime in. This episode is for everybody who's ever felt stuck between cultures. Too African for your American friends, too American for your African family. If your identity ever felt like a tug-of-war match, you're not alone. Let's talk about it. If I can remember correctly as a child, I was literally caught in the middle of a tug-of-war battle with my stepmother Marlene and my auntie Barbara. One had each of my arm and would pull it in opposite directions. I will never forget the pain I felt while they tugged with vile for each other. I was like, where am I? I was living in Rialto, California and was only 10 years old. The pressure I felt from being pulled in two different directions hurt badly. To make a long story short, the police were called. So it all happened when I decided I wanted to look like MC Hammer. In the 90s, he was all that and a bag of chips, at least to me, because I thought he had, at the time, one of the coolest styles haircut I ever seen, and I badly wanted it. I asked my stepmother for that haircut and she agreed. I thought she was the coolest mom in the world. However, on the other hand, my dad's sister, after seeing my haircut, which was just a little ponytail in the back of the head, thought otherwise. For some reason, my auntie hated it and thought it looked like a thuggish and or too street for her nephew to rock. So my auntie was literally coming for my stepmom with a very sharp pointing scissors because she was ready for that smoke. Growing up, I never quite fit in anywhere. I mean, even as a student athlete, I used to bring my mundane bodybuilding diet to eat every day at school. In order to stay strict on my competition goals, I went to bed by 8 p.m. every night and woke up by 4 a.m. as a student athlete. I played several different sports: soccer, football, ran track, and weightlifted with a sprinkle of bodybuilding, achieving high athletic honors while making the honor society in high school. Everybody used to ask, "Dude, who are you?" At home, I was expected to act African. Watch after your brothers and sisters, clean the dishes and take out the trash, respect elders, no backtalk, eat your cassava leaf and hush. Every time I think about this current generation and how they are being raised and how I have to raise my two boys is totally different from the days when I was raised as a child. Even now, me as a parent cannot do some of the things our previous parents were allowed to get away with. My wife and I have to be totally conscious, modern, and progressive in our approach of how we coexist raising our children. At school, whole different game. It's freedom. Baggy jeans, ringing out curse words without a care, slang, sagging pants, Jordan posters. You African? Say something in African. And I try to code switch between the two. After telling them something in my native Liberian colloquial English like shoes, for example, I would say, "Tie your Scooby." Everyone would yell and say, Does that mean shoes? But no matter what I did, I always felt like I was failing one side. The one thing I always tried to remember was, regardless of the side I felt I let down, I did my very best. And if it did not meet the approval of those around me, I did not care. And it did not bother me because I was always being true to myself. Not American enough to be fully accepted. Not African enough to be authentic. If you really study majority of the people who do not fully accept you for whatever reasons is because they don't truly fully accept themselves either. It's like living in a cultural limbo, and you start to wonder, who am I really doing all this for? Even if you did it for them, it will never be enough, and you will always be expected to do more, so save yourself wasted time and just do you. Let's be real. Black immigrants get hit from both sides terribly. African Americans would sometimes clown me for being too fresh. African booty scratcher level disrespect. They also would comment on my aesthetics like my lips. They used to call me soup coolers and PSL. I will spare your eardrums from PSL acronym. I'll let you figure that one out for yourself. Meanwhile, some Africans would say I was too Americanized. Mind you, them are the same people back home who depend heavily on your Americanized dollar to help them stay afloat. Their words are not taken too literally or seriously within my sphere, but they have the mitigated gall to open their mouth to say, you don't speak the language. You forgot where you came from. So where do we go? You try to rock Ankara at a barbecue and get laughed at. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You visit family back home and get called the American. They often seem to forget that this American is the only one who they call quite often when times are hard, when they need rescue, and or when they want something for Christmas. So I'll be that American, just give me credit. Bro, the pressure to belong, it's real. But here's what I've learned. Belonging isn't about performing for either side. It's about owning your story, writing your own narrative, and making sure our words don't get distorted or diluted. Be the one to control the narrative and take back your power and tell them proudly, I am that I am. I'm African, I'm American, I'm both, I'm neither, I'm me. That's all that matters. And maybe that in-between space is actually a superpower. I don't believe I have a double veil. I know I see the world through several veils. I can see things from many different perspectives. I even think twice about killing insects or any living creature, as I believe we all come back as something or someone in some shape or form. I know how to navigate two worlds or any world I venture off into. I can speak in church, the classrooms, the gym, and in the streets. Anywhere my voice is needed to amplify authenticity. I've tasted palm butter and Popeyes, pizza and cassava leaf, fufu and soup and seafood pad thai. I like them all, except these days I can't do pizza and Popeyes. Cheese don't sit well with me and gives me mucus. Popeyes, on the other hand, my wife and children tears them up occasionally, and I'm not gonna let either side define my wholeness. So if you've ever felt like you're too much or not enough, I see you. You are more than enough, and you must recognize your worth and don't let anyone treat you otherwise. Make them put respect on your name and mean it. You don't have to pick a side to be powerful. You just have to be grounded in knowing yourself and being confident in everything you do. You don't need to dilute your Africanness to feel American. And you don't need to erase your American side to prove your roots. Just walk in your truth. You are the bridge. You are the culture. What you've gleaned from your experiences over the years living in both worlds can be leveraged to reconstruct and design a whole curricula that will teach the masses. Drop a comment. Have you ever felt caught between identities? What's your story? I want to know. Hit that like, share with your cousins on both sides, and don't forget to subscribe. Next time on Supah Citizen, we're digging into the birthright they don't tell us about. Stay real, stay rooted, and always stay super.
Limit. If I want it, then I go get it. Make it rain, get a poncho.